Cool. Welcome to Cook and Jook, the show where we combine good food and good music. Welcome to my kitchen. And today is a soup day. I need soup. I don't know about you. I'm a soup lover, not a soup fighter. And today was cold and it rained and my allergies are doing all kinds of so I need soup. And I'm gonna make a turkey meatball soup that has a bunch of stuff in it. It's gonna have let me just show you. I can show you better than I can tell you. So you got some ground turkey. This is 93.7. I typically buy 99% lean and 1% fat, but they had this on sale. It's a good price, so I said let's do it. It's gonna have some carrots, some plátano or plantain or plantain, depending on what island you're from. You got some corn, onions, this is yellow squash, some eggs, that's for the meatballs. This is some frozen yuca, and some frozen, what is this? This is frozen spinach. Some breadcrumbs, that's for the meatballs. So we're gonna make a bunch of meatballs. We're not gonna cook all of them. I'm gonna freeze the rest. And in the meatballs, we're gonna season them with some pepper, onion powder, even though it's gonna have some onions in there, some garlic powder, even though we're gonna have some garlic in there, some oregano, a couple chili flakes, some cilantro leaves, just because I gotta do something with these, and some salt. So yeah, and then it's gonna be a good lip smacking, hearty kind of thing, and hopefully this congestion goes the hell away because I just want to breathe like a normal human being. So yeah, so first we're gonna get started on the meatballs, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna brown them in here. We're gonna take them out, then we're gonna chop up some of the vegetables, get those going, dump everything back in there, dump some water, we'll season the taste, and there you have it. I'm gonna put this stuff back in the freezer, the yuca and the spinach, and we shall get going. I'm already knowing. Off the top of the mind, I'm flowing. Freestyle. What you want? Nah, let me stop. All right. So first things first, we're going to get this ground turkey in here. Then we're going to move this out the way. Normally, when I'm working with ground turkey, I usually have gloves that I like to mix it so I don't get my hands dirty. But I am all out, and I thought I was not. So it is what it is. 3 pounds, 3 libras. All right, you give that a quick little rinse. I got 6 garlic cloves. I'm not measuring, to be honest with you. I'm just I'm eyeballing it. So it is what it is. If you like your stuff more garlicky, then by all means, more garlicky. Go for it. All right, so let's get this out the way. I hope you're doing well. These early 2020s have been quite interesting. And I know me, one thing that has helped me get through it is cooking. And let me not pretend like I just started cooking. I've been cooking my entire life. I love doing it. I was always in the kitchen with my mom. And everybody in my family knows how to cook. So this is not, we're not new to this. We're true to this, So it's always good to have something that you can do to ease your mind and save some money. Because obviously, when you cook at home, 9 times out of 10, you're going to save some money. Forgive me, I told you my allergies. I got a lot of congestion right here. It's part of the reason why we're making this meal. You want to chop up this garlic. If you have one of those mincing tools or whatever, go for it. Actually, I do have one. I honestly just forgot, but this works fine. We don't need to get a super duper crazy mince on there. Okay, I think that looks pretty good. Look at that. Okay. Let's get that in there. Now we're gonna chop up an onion. We're gonna use 1 onion in the in the meatballs, and then 1 onion in the soup. We're gonna saute those for a little bit, get them nice and translucent. But first, gotta get the meatballs ready, because what we're gonna do is we're gonna add some olive oil to the pot, and we're gonna brown the meatballs, and you know, it's gonna get some color. That's gonna get some color, and then we're gonna use some of those drippings to saute the vegetables. And when those start looking good, then we'll add everything in there, add some water, add some seasoning, let everything come together. What's gonna be like the really nice final touch is when we throw the plantains in there and the yuca, because that's gonna give it some texture. It's gonna give it some more fullness, if you will. And you know, I'm wondering if I need a whole onion for this. I'm thinking, you know what? Maybe. I don't know. I love onions. Let's do it. I love onions. Oh, okay. Who's cutting onions? Oh, that would be me. Why am I crying? Okay. But when you add the plantains and all that, you know, it thickens it. It makes it really, really hearty. It's a very brothy soup, but it definitely helps to thicken it up. Okay. Yeah, we're making a little bit of a mess, but that's cool. That's how you know we're having fun. Cooking should be fun. If you got a kid, yo, show them how to cook something. Doesn't matter. Doesn't have to be something crazy. You know, growing up, I watched my mom. I saw her season a lot of stuff. And so we got an onion. I saw her season a bunch of stuff. And I was always just a sponge. Okay, as far as we're gonna add some salt. As far as how much salt? I'd say roughly. This is about maybe 2-3 teaspoons. About 3 teaspoons. Not really measure. This is cilantro. Again, I just want to use these. That's probably a little over a teaspoon. Some oregano. And we're not necessarily going for like an Italian meatball, but you could. They're pretty versatile. But I just want something that I can throw this in the soup. If I want, I could put this in an Italian dish and it wouldn't feel out of place. Or if I just want to throw them in the oven and just have like some appetizers, cool. We got some crushed chili flakes. Not trying to make these too spicy. That's probably about a teaspoon. All right, we're gonna go garlic powder. But you just added garlic. I know, be quiet. We adding garlic powder still. I like garlic, what can I say? And I have vampires next door, so this keeps me safe. Roughly a little over a teaspoon, like a rounded teaspoon onion powder. This is the secret right here. If you can only have 3 things in your kitchen, have salt, pepper, onion powder. Everything else is extra. Garlic powder, sure. That would be my number 4. I would put onion powder over garlic powder. That's how awesome it is. Pepper. Pepper. I'd say roughly about a, again, teaspoonish. Let's go some breadcrumbs. How many? I'd say that's probably about a 1.5-ish, maybe. Sure, why not? Got some eggs. Uno. Let's see if can we do the one hand? People always like, let me see if I can do the one hand. Bam. No shells. No shells? Hey, no shells. I'll do 3. So we got 3 pounds. We'll do a pound, an egg a pound. Ooh, massive shell. Massive shell. Okay. Calm down there, jerky. All right. I don't know why I'm washing my hands. I'm about to get them super dirty. But I actually like to have like, if I could have like 1 clean hand, that would be awesome. Let me take a little. All right. Now you know what? I don't want to like mix these with my hand. I will form them with my hand, but I don't want to mix. I don't feel like, yeah, my fingernails. I'm trying not to have. I'm trying to minimize the turkey under my fingernails. Now, I'm not gonna lie. I have a tendency to like over mix my meatballs. They say you shouldn't over mix them. Just kind of like as necessary. So like I'll mix everything really, really good, and then I'll just keep going. I'll just keep going. I'm gonna try not to do that, but we'll see. Part of me wants to cut off the video now, but maybe we will, maybe we won't. But some people are into this kind of stuff. I don't know. Like some people, they just like watching people do stuff. So if you're into that, then by all means, continue watching. Feel free to like, subscribe, all that stuff that YouTubers say. What's your favorite recipe that has meatballs in it? Is it like, you know, grandma's spaghetti? Is it a meatball sandwich? Is it like an Italian wedding soup? What is it? I don't know if I have a favorite recipe that has meatballs. So I will say this. One of my favorite recipes is like meatballs with like a brown gravy, like a mushroom gravy with egg noodles. I love egg noodles. Also, whenever I go to like a Vietnamese spot and I order some pho, I tend to get like, you know, like the combo pho that has like, you know, the rare steak and some brisket and some meatballs. I'm not gonna lie, there's just one spot that I go to in Austin. I haven't been there in a minute. I order meatballs and they always forget them. Always. Like, literally always. It's a decent bowl of pho though, I'm not gonna lie, so I keep going. Okay. Whew, this right here is on fire. This right here is on fire. I'm getting the workout. I do want to switch up the arms, but I'm right-handed, and I feel like if I do, this turkey is going to be all over the counter because I just don't have the coordination. So what I'm going to do is, in a minute or two, I'm going to form the meatballs. It'll probably be about the size of like a golf ball-ish, and maybe a little smaller. I'm going to put some on some parchment paper. I have a lined tray over there with some parchment paper, and whatever I use, I'm going to put in here. We're going to brown it. The rest I'm going to put on the parchment paper, and we're going to freeze them for like an hour, and then we'll put them in Ziploc bags, and we'll use them for something else. So if you got bad allergies, what are your allergies? Let's have a health conversation. Put it in the comments. I'm not gonna lie. Ever since I moved to Texas, my allergies been, whew, man. And I read somewhere that Central Texas is considered the allergy capital of the world, which is crazy. But man, when I tell you that I'm experiencing things here that I've never experienced in my entire life, it's different out here. All right. Whew. Híjole. Oh. All right. All right. Let's go. Maybe, okay. 30 more seconds. 30 more seconds. Come on. Come on, man. 30 more seconds. Let's go. Crunch time. Cooking real time over here. All right. Whew. Whew. My goodness. All right. So for now, I'm just gonna put some here on this tray. I think this will be a good indicator to like how many we're gonna use. Yeah. So I'm gonna keep these a little bit smaller than a golf ball. And I'm not packing them in very like tightly. I just kind of want to just make sure that they're kind of round, you know? They don't have to be perfect. So now what we're gonna do, we've made the meatballs. Not all the other ones. The extras are gonna go here on this this parchment paper. I'm gonna freeze those. But for now, we're going to brown. Excuse me. We're gonna brown what we have available for the soup. Gonna add some olive oil. Add a nice amount. Gonna get some good browning on there. Then we're gonna remove them, and then we are going to we're going to add the vegetables and all that stuff, and then we'll add some water and season the taste. Throw in all the rest of like the plantain and the yuca and all that, and the frozen. I keep saying broccoli, the frozen spinach, and then we're gonna have a good time. So yeah, so we're just gonna wait for this to heat up. Let me show you the meatballs. Let me have, look at that. Mira que belleza. Belleza means beauty in Spanish. Look at that beauty. Mira, mira, chico. Depending on how much space they take up, I may throw in a couple more, but for now, this looks like the way we're going. This looks like the wave right here. Alrighty, let me put some of this stuff up. You know what they say, you gotta clean as you go. So I'm trying to clean as I go. I'm very good at making messes. I mastered the art of making a mess in English and in Spanish by the time I was maybe 7. And I don't want to do that anymore. So, and let me get my tongs. Tong, 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 tong. Tong, 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 tong. Fun fact, my friend Rashidi, shout out to Rashidi, was Cisco's tour manager when he had Thong Song. Did you know that? Did you know that? Did you know that? You didn't know that because you've never heard of Rashidi. Rashidi's a good dude. He's from New York. Shout out to Rashidi. He also produced a bunch of TV that you've seen, so he's put in a lot of work. Shout out to Rashidi, man. I miss you, man. You may never see this, but I miss you, and I appreciate everything that you've done for me. All right. So again, this is a meatball soup. I'm not gonna say it's similar to like a sancocho. Sancocho is a soup that's very popular in different countries. In Puerto Rico and Cuba, it's actually called ajiaco in Cuba. Colombia has sancocho. There's different versions of it. And I grew up eating what my mother made, which had like a lot of beef, like beef bones, short ribs. It had the plantain, the yuca. That was like the main thing. And then it's one of those soups where it's like, you know, you could add rice on the side and have the cilantro and the onions and the lemon or the lime and all that. So it's one of those kind of meals. It's similar. I thought about doing it with some pork, but I just saw like the special on the turkey, the ground turkey. I was like, let me try that. So it's gonna be similar to that. So I just really want something hearty that I can store. Excuse me. If I want to put some in the freezer, I can. If I don't want to cook for the next few days, which I don't want to, I'm gonna use this for that. But again, also, one of the things that prompted me to make this today was just the weather. The weather, it rained, and it was cold, and again, like my allergies was like, so let me make some soup. So, trying to decide on what the song is going to be for today. I have a few in mind. I'm thinking, because in case this is your first time here, in case you skipped through the intro, but what we do here at Cooking Jook is we take good food and we pair it with good music. So you know how you might go to a restaurant or whatever, and you may ask like, what pairs well? Like, what wine pairs well with this ginger sesame salmon? I'm pairing songs with food. So at the end of this video, I'm going to recommend a song that you listen to while making this or cooking this, or just something to watch after watching this. Okay, just starting to... I have a couple of songs in mind, and I'm just not sure which way I want to go, because to me this is like a cold weather dish, and there's a part of me that wants to go with some music that I feel is cold weather music. Because believe it or not, I think there's certain sounds that are inspired by the environments. Like if you ever hear, like, in my opinion, when I heard Outkast for the first time in Atlanta, it sounded different than when I first heard Outkast, which was in Miami. You know, I had a friend who went to Clark Atlanta University, awesome school, HBCU, shout out to HBCUs across the world. I myself am a FAMU Rattler. But I almost went to Clark. I got a partial scholarship to Clark, but it just wasn't enough. And I really wanted to be in Atlanta. But shout out to Clark. I did kick it on campus a couple times. And I remember when I first heard Outkast, I was like, wow, what is this? I've never heard anything like this. And then when I went to Atlanta, and the same Outkast, at the time it was a CD, the same Outkast CD that I've been listening to for years, when I walked, you know, Peachtree, when I was on campus, when I'm, you know, just in, you know, whether Decatur or wherever I was, it just sounded different being there. And I think I had that, like, I guess like a sense of deja vu or something, but it didn't really hit me until I was in Chicago one day. And I'll never forget, it was Thanksgiving, I was flying to Miami, and I had a layover in Chicago, and it was like a 3-hour layover. So I'm, you know, I'm just like, what do I do? Well, you know, I got some music. At the time I was listening to Lupe Fiasco, shout out to Lupe, shout out to Chicago, what I Joe. I was listening to Lupe Fiasco, and I was just walking around O'Hare, around the airport. And I was listening to, I want to say it was Food and Liquor. If I remember correctly, it was his first album. And if I remember correctly, I could be wrong, but if I remember correctly, O'Hare is like, it's like a U-shaped, which a lot of airports are. And I was just walking back and forth. It was cold. And I'm listening to this, and his album sounded so much different when I was in the city where, you know, I don't know if he was in Chicago when he recorded it, but he's from Chicago. So it felt different, you know. It's like eating Italian food in New York, which I'm sure there's some great Italian food, versus eating it in Italy. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's got to be some difference. You know, like, you know what? I'm going to make a few more meatballs. Not a whole lot. Maybe like 4 more. Yeah. Ooh, it smells good. Ooh, here we go, sis. Here we go, sis. I'll be right back. I'm gonna go make a few more meatballs. I'm gonna come back. We're gonna continue to chop it up. Alright, so I just added about 4 more meatballs just to kind of give it a little bit more oomph. I didn't want to see empty spaces. Even though, like, when you're doing something like this, it helps to have some space in between, like, the meatballs and all that. But I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't really care. I want as many meatballs as I can get in that thing. That's what I'm going for. Let me show you what I got. See that? Look at all that goodness. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, about 50, 11 meatballs in there. And they're gonna be good. You hear that? Do you smell that? You smell that. Shout out to the cameraman. Alright, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to grab another cutting board first. Where do I have another cutting board? I have one over yonder. Okay. I got like 5 cutting boards. This is a very small one. I have one that's like this big. I'm gonna bust it out one day. One day. Alright. We're gonna chop up some of these vegetables. We bring it over here into my steak. Well, actually, let me double check, make sure. Let me see how these guys are doing. Okay, got a little nice little color. Yeah, go for another minute or so. Okay. Now we cut up some of these vegetables. Bring it right here. Bam. All right. Get this out of the way. So here we have some yellow squash. It's been washed. I got an onion I'm gonna chop up. And squash is a great tool, in my opinion. You just want to add a little extra oomph to something. It's not too expensive, and I think it's one of those. It could be like a really simple side dish. Like if you're baking like some chicken, you know, you want a vegetable on the side. I think it's great. You know, just a little simple olive oil, salt, and pepper. You know, it looks nice when you grill it. It's really versatile. So, you know, shout out to my friend right here. Shape is mad weird though. But you know, some people would say that my shape is mad weird. No body shaming? No, you can. It's okay. I got thick skin. Really thick skin because I like to eat a lot. I don't mind. I don't mind. And then after we're done with this, we're going to check on the meatballs. We're going to give them a little turn. And you can cut these up however you want. If you prefer to have them more round, by all means, go for it. These are going to cook down a little bit. So it looks like there's a whole lot. Not really, though. But again, just something that helps to make this dish a little bit more hearty. You know, lends itself well to the flavor, you know. It's not too powerful. Like there's certain types of squashes that are like, the flavor is a little bit more intense. This is pretty mild. So, you know, it plays well with other flavors. And then, you know, we got the other vegetables we're gonna add, like the carrots and stuff like that. So let's come over here. I don't know if you can see this. Can you see that? Kind of, sort of. Let me adjust this a little bit. Hopefully this doesn't get like all up in the lens. Color. You know, I'm gonna add a little bit more olive oil. I don't know if you can see that right there. You see that little rectangle? It might be kind of dark. You might not be able to see it. That's a piece of onion right there. It's got some caramelization. That's going to make it a little sweet. Again, we're using all ground turkey. But if you want to go with, turn this up a little bit. Right now I have it on 8 out of 10. If you want to go with ground beef, ground pork, some of your favorite meatballs that you've ever eaten in your entire life, or a mixture of beef and pork. I just want to go turkey today because that's just how I'm feeling. Feeling like a turkey, big turkey. And I'm gonna get a bowl that I'm gonna set to the side so that we can Put these over here. Let me heat this up. That's starting to release some moisture. So the sizzle, you can kind of hear it going down a little bit. That's why I raise the temperature, because if it's not hot enough, then what you'll get is it'll start boiling. So you won't hear that anymore. It'll just start boiling. So I want to make sure that enough liquid evaporates so that we get back to the sizzle. So just keep your eyes on that for a minute. Actually, while that's doing that, let's talk about this onion. Onion, cebolla, cebolla. That's how you say it in Spanish. All right. Onions is one of my all-time favorite things, period. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't really remember. My mom tells me, and I'm assuming that she's not in the lying business. Except for the time she told me I was the smartest person in the world. She was lying to me. But my mother told me that when I was a kid, I used to eat onions like apples. Like I would just take a bite out of them like McGruff taking a bite out of crime. I don't remember, but you know what? I'm gonna take her word for it. Because she probably remembers better than I do. And frankly, I don't wanna butt heads with my mama, because she can kill me a lot. And I know she loves me. But if she says so. Alright. I'm not giving these like a super fine chop. I'm gonna throw these in. First I'm gonna throw these in there. The squash, and then I'll throw the onions in there for a few minutes. We'll get some water going, some stock, not some stock actually, just some water. I think I have like a half a can of like some chicken stock. I may just throw in there just because I just want to get rid of it. I think it's actually Chinese chicken stock, to be honest with you, and I just want to get rid of it. Chinese chicken stock is really good. If you're ever making any Asian dishes that require some stock, if you can, because it's not everywhere. If you can find you some Chinese chicken stock, man, go for it. Go for it. Just trust me. Trust me. All right, and then we gotta add some carrots, and then the plantain, and the corn, and the yuca, and all that comes way later. Way later. All right, so we got these turkey meatballs going. They're gonna be good. Just have an idea where we're at. It's dripping. It's dripping. I know it's making a mess. It's okay. I can see it. I got napkins. I got cleaning wipes and spray and all that stuff. I'm clean. I keep them clean. I'm gonna put this in the fridge for now. I'll handle this later. Hopefully I can get this into the fridge. All right. So another thing I want to do is cut up some carrots. Part of me wants to wait till... Actually, no, we're not gonna wait. We're gonna do this right now. All right. Ven acá. That means come here. Or ven aquí. Some carrot. That's not how you say carrot. And I don't think any language. I'm just being goofy. Alright, we got some carrots. I got a plate over here where we're gonna put some carrots. I'll probably just put them on this side over here. I want to start buying more different colored carrots, like the purple carrots, and cooking them without peeling them. Believe it or not, I've done that a few times. Actually, I really like it. You don't have to peel carrots if you don't want to. I know it sounds weird. Trust me. And to me, it looks amazing. Like if I roasted some carrots one time where I didn't peel them, like I just gave them like a really good wash / scrub. They were fantastic. And they had like this rustic look. Ooh, okay, that's a lot of liquid. Where did that come from? Yeah, they were amazing. And I want to do more of that. Kind of had like an organic kind of feel to it, though it definitely was not organic. They don't have to be really small pieces. This is, yeah, I don't know, probably about a little bit smaller than like the circumference of a dime. Got some bigger pieces in there. It's gonna cook for a minute, so don't worry about like, oh, are the carrots gonna be undercooked? No, not at all. One thing I love about this dish is the colors. You know, you got this orange, got the yellow, we got the spinach, which is gonna, you know, give it a nice accent green. It's a colorful dish, you know. It's cool stuff. All right, we're about to take out these. About to take out these guys because they acting a fool. So it's time for you to get out the pool. It's time for you to get out the pool because you acting a fool and that ain't cool. Wake up early tomorrow for school. Snap, snap, snap. Snap, snap, snap. No. Cap, cap, cap. All right. Yeah, I know I was nice with the poems, huh? Actually, believe it or not, back in my day, I was heavy into poetry. I still love, you know, I still write. But when I was in school at the Florida A&M University, you know, I'm gonna let me scrape out some of these. Back in the day, I've always written poetry since I was a kid. And, you know, I performed, you know, talent shows and stuff like that. When I was in college, I had the opportunity to perform. Got a little bit of olive oil, about what, 4 or 5 tablespoons. There was a, what club was it? It was a CPA. Was it CPA in Tallahassee? I can't remember. No, it wasn't CPA. I cannot remember. But they had this open mic night. And man, I used to hit that up. There were times where there would be a band behind me and I'd be performing with the band and just freestyling like cats I'd never met. It was so dope. One time I had a dude on the bongos, and when I'm talking like this and talking like that, he's and I'm just like and I'm talking and I'm like, it was so dope. But I got a chance to perform on the same nights as like some world-class poets, you know. For anybody who's ever been, you know, to that night, you know, you may have heard like of the Back Talk Poetry Troupe. Back Talk, Talk Back. If you don't know, you don't know the word. It's okay. It was a well-known poetry troupe in town. They were dope. I'm gonna add some salt to this. So we've added the squash and the carrots. I'm gonna let them guys cook. We're gonna add probably, that's about a tablespoon of salt. Where's the other one? The salt and the pepper. Yeah. And it's about a tablespoon. And it was so much fun. I actually hit it up. It was on Thursday nights. That was my spot. And I had a lot of fun. When I was in school, like I got to open up for Def Poetry Jam, or Def Poetry. When they were on tour, they had these world-class poets. There was a lady named Georgia Me, Mums. Well, I believe passed away. Rest in peace, Mums. If not, forgive me. I'm sorry. Sorry for killing you. Mums from the show. It was a show on HBO. I'm gonna find it, and I'll post it somewhere over here. Mums, a dude from Trinidad who was like the world poetry slam champion. A lady named Mata Del Valle from Chicago who had a huge crush on. She was a dope poet, and they were killing it. And I got a chance to open up when they were in my city, my little city. I'll never forget. I did a poem called The Lady in Black, and I wore a black suit. I'll never forget. And the event was at The Moon, which is a popular club in Tallahassee. I don't know if it's still around or not. I doubt it. But if it is, shout out to The Moon. And it was dope. It was so dope. And we kicked it after the show, went to the hotel. We just hung out, hung out. A lot of fun. But when I was in college, I also got to open for like The Last Poets, which is like, The Last Poets is like, whoa, like, that's a big deal. The Last Poets are legends in the poetry game. And I got to open up for them. It was on campus. Like they came for some event, I can't remember. But I got to open up for them, and that was just like, And I was always big into poetry. And I'll never forget, there was a dude, I went to New Jersey named Talam AC. I had never heard his brother, but the first time I heard him, I was like, he's one of the greatest I've ever heard in my entire life. He was that good. And come to find out, he's been all over the place for years. For years doing his thing, Very well known. But I never heard of the brother. When I heard him, I was like, oh, wow. I didn't know that you could do that with words. I did not know that was possible. That was possible. He man, amazing. Amazing. Anyway, so we got these vegetables. I'm gonna saute these for another couple minutes. Then we're gonna throw the onions in there. Then we're gonna get the stock. Well, it's not stock yet. But, it's not gonna be a stock ever because stock involves bones. But we're gonna get the water in there. Gonna get that going. Let me double check, make sure I have enough water. I have some water in this kettle. It's not hot. I need more water than what I have in there. So I'm gonna refill this up. This is a filter that filters out like all the bad stuff, fluoride and all types of stuff. So I'll try to link to it below. I don't know. I don't have like the whole Amazon stuff going on yet, but hopefully, I'd be like, those links help the channel at no extra cost to you. I want to be able to say that. I don't know if I can say that right now. All right. Hey girl, stop looking at my booty. Alright, so let me just show you what we're looking like over here in the pan, or the pot, or whatever this thing is. This is like a wok. We got the yellow squash, some salt, pepper, some carrots. And in about another minute, I'm gonna add the onions. Put these over here. Then we'll dump the meatballs back in there, and all the goodness is gonna happen. We'll be eating soon. Soon. And we're back. You hear that? You hear that? Yes, sir. And now I'm gonna add the onions. I'm not trying to caramelize these. I just want these to get a little translucent, a little kind of see through a little bit. See, the pot's cooled down a little bit because we added the cold onions. Again, not trying to brown these the onions. We're not trying to get them, you know, like you're making like a cheesesteak where it's really caramelized and brown. We're gonna cook these for a minute, 2 minutes. We're gonna throw the meatballs back in there, water, cover. Let it cook for 15, 20 minutes. We'll season it, then we'll add the other stuff later. What's your favorite soup? You want to hear something? Growing up, one of my favorite soups ever in life, aside from like my mother's sancocho or, you know, just some good homemade, I used to love, oh, what's that restaurant? Friday's baked potato soup. TGI Friday's baked potato soup. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Without fail. Every time. Baked potato soup. Every single time. One of my favorite soups. Another soup story. When I was in LA, I had a friend of mine. She's Thai. She's half Thai and Laotian. She knows who she is. I miss you. I hope you're doing well. Shout out to you and your family. Okay, these are getting close to where we want them. So she had this Thai spot that we used to hit up, and they had this, was it a hot pot, I think it was called? It was a really spicy soup with chicken and mushrooms and shrimp and all that stuff. And they serve it to you in like this big thing, and it has like the canned heat at the bottom, so it's super hot, like temperature wise, but it's also spicy as hell. And I remember the first time eating this stuff, and I love the taste. When I tell you I'm eating it, and I just start sweating. Like, sweating. It was so much. Let me just show you where we're at right here. Take a look at that. So I'm sweating. When I tell you, I went to the bathroom just to wipe my face off. I got napkins. I wiped my face off. And I pull up to the table with a stack of napkins, and I just sat it right next to me because I knew I was going to need it. But I kept eating this soup, and it was just, Cubans and Puerto Ricans would say empapado. Empapado. It just means soaking, drenching, drenched, ocean coming from my face onto the rest of myself. But it was so good, and every time I went to that restaurant, we ordered that. It's that good. All right. Then we're good to go. Let's add these meatballs. All right. Yes, sir. I may add some adobo to this. A little adobo seasoning. I'll show you what we're working with. Alright. Add some water. I'm kind of scraping the bottom of the pan to get any of those little loose bits from the meatballs or from the vegetables. Those little charred bits equal flavor. Again, this is a ton of water, so I'm pretty sure this doesn't taste like much. So I'm gonna let this cook. I'll come back in about 20 minutes. Just kind of check up on it. Word to Beyonce and Slim Thug. We'll check up on it. And we'll add seasoning. We're most likely gonna add some salt, maybe some pepper, salt, pepper, onion powder, garlic powder, maybe some adobo. And then everything else is just gonna bring it together. Forgive my stove. My stove it's wobbly, but it works. So I'm grateful for it. Okay. Okay. Just to show you what we're working with right now. So we'll give you a little peek right here. Bam. Okay, my friend? Okay. Sarai. And we'll be back in a few minutes. I'm going to clean up a little bit of this mess. I might add a little bit more water, but for now, we're just going to... We'll see you in a little bit. Welcome back. So we've been cooking this for about 20-ish minutes, 25 minutes. Let me show you what it looks like. We're going to add the plantains and some of the other stuff, the frozen spinach, and I'm gonna get this finished up. Let me show you what it looks like. That's what we're looking like. I added a little bit of salt, about a tablespoon of salt. Probably need to add some other seasonings, but that's what we're working with right now. So we're gonna add this. I'm gonna raise the temperature to about 5. Let me turn off this fan. Raise the temperature to midway. I'm gonna bring this over here. Okay. That's okay. All right, so we got this. We got like a mutant kind of plantain. It's like 2 in 1, but you know, got one sticker on it, so I paid for one. Alright, let's see what we got going on over here. Peeling a plantain can be tricky. I've never seen this in my life, so let's see what we got going on here. Okay, let's see how much we can do with our hands. Okay, this is not bad. Not bad. We can also do something like that. There's no method to this. I'm just gonna cut this into small chunks, throw it in the pot, keep it moving. Okay, that looks pretty good. Again, this is like 2 plantains, like kind of morphed into one. pot. This is gonna help to thicken the soup. Again, we're gonna add some yuca or some cassava, and that's gonna make this really, really hearty. Add some corn and some frozen spinach, and that'll finish our meal. We'll cook this for roughly 20 minutes. I'm gonna give that a little stir. And we're going to add the frozen yuca, the cassava in a couple minutes. Add a little bit of corn, some broccoli. I keep saying broccoli. It's frozen spinach. Frozen spinach. Then I'm going to hit you with a song for the day. I'm going to eat this bowl of soup. I'm going to think about my day. I'm going to think about my day tomorrow. And I wish you all the best. So I'll be back in a little bit. We've been cooking this for about 25 minutes. And I'm going to add some frozen yuca. That's going to take about 20 minutes to cook. I'm going to add some frozen spinach and some corn. I'm only going to add probably like one piece of corn because I'm not going to eat all of this, and I don't want this to be sitting in the soup when I'm not going to eat it. So I'm going to just add one for now. And we'll probably add a little bit of salt, onion powder, garlic powder, and some pepper. Because I've been tasting it, and it tastes good, but I think it needs a little bit just more, you know? So we're going to do that. So for now, let's get a little bit of salt. And again, you know, just go tasting it. I'm gonna add, this is probably half a teaspoon-ish. Onion powder. Again, about a half a teaspoon. I'm about to add the same amount, half a teaspoon. And we'll go tasting it. That's garlic powder. And what was the other thing? Pepper. Alright. Give that a little stir. Then we're going to add some of the other ingredients. And this is going to give the soup some body. It's going to make it thick. It's like the equivalent of the soup doing squats in the gym. It's going to make it thick. I have the temperature at about medium. Frozen yuca, cassava, staple in the household growing up. These are really big pieces. We're probably not gonna eat this massive piece. This is probably about the size of like a really, really, really big chicken leg. I'm not gonna eat that whole thing, I can tell you right now. Big old chunks. Add a smaller piece. Bam. We'll save this for something else. Put this back in the fridge. I'm gonna let that cook for about 10 minutes, and then I'm gonna add the corn and all that because that just takes less time to cook. Put that up in the fridge, in the freezer. I may break this up as it cooks when it gets softer. But for now, this is what it looks like. Okay. You dig? You undersmell me? You underdig me? That's what it looks like. Alright, then I have some frozen espinaca, spinach, espinaca. And I'm gonna just dump that all in there. It's gonna give us some nice color. Spinach is good for you. I'm gonna turn it to Popeye. And we'll check back in about 15-20 minutes. See where we're at. I'm gonna give this a little stir. I want that spinach to get incorporated in there. It's got a beautiful color. Get this up in there. This is a full meal. You know, you got your vegetables, you got your protein, you know. Got a little bit of everything going on in here. Ooh, ooh. And I made a mess. Okay. Man, I was doing so well. It happens. I just want to give us a little stir. I got the heat on medium. I would kind of turn it up a little bit to get it going, but I really don't feel like it. I'm gonna just leave it on medium. I'm gonna just leave it on medium and that's it. I'm gonna come through in about 15 minutes and just check in on it. And we'll throw some corn in there. I'll be back. Alright, here we are. We've been cooking this. I'm not gonna lie, I've been cooking this for probably about 30 to 40 minutes. It looks wonderful. I have the yuca, aka the cassava, some corn, a bunch of vegetables. Excuse, forgive me. But it's a really, really hearty soup. This is what it looks like. It's really good stuff. It's super hot. And I'm about to pour myself a bowl. I poured in the frozen spinach and the cassava and all that. It's gotten kind of thick. Ooh. Let's get us a good bowl. Okay, I think this is a whole lot. This is a meal right here. I'm gonna turn this off. This is gonna be hot for hours. Hours and hours and hours. But let me show you what my bowl looks like. That's got meatballs and corn and carrots and spinach and yuca and all that stuff in it. I'm gonna hit this up. I'm gonna tell you what it tastes like. Let me grab a spoon. Get you an Asian spoon. If you ain't got no Asian spoons in your house, what are you doing with your life? I'm gonna rinse it off. Get you some Asian spoons. Ooh, super hot. Super duper hot. First off, thank you for everybody who stuck around and watched this video. I appreciate it. Let's see what we got going on right here. You get the hardness of all the vegetables, some of the sweetness of the carrots and the saltiness of some of the soup. Now let's talk about some of these meatballs. Some of the meatballs. Ooh. So, so the song that I want to pair this episode with is a song by one of my all-time favorite MCs, who happens to be a female MC from Philly. Her name is Bahamadia. Bahamadia is super dope. Love her to death. She's one of the greatest female MCs of all time. And she has a song called You Know How We Do. And it's spelled a little differently. It's not spelled You Know How We Do, but it's spelled like this. I'll try to put it on the screen. It's a record that, to me, it's a fun record. I think it's a very fulfilling record. Similar to this soup, it's very fulfilling and fun. And it just works, you know? I think it's a very warm record, which I could use right now because when I made this soup, it was very cold and wet and rainy. And I just think this is a very uplifting record. So I want to throw this out there. Bahamadia, You Know How We Do. Cooking Jook. I love you. I appreciate you. Enjoy this record. Enjoy this meal. This turkey meatball soup with carrots and onions and corn and yellow squash, frozen spinach, and yuca, cassava. It's a really good soup. This feels freaking amazing. This is like a hug. This song feels like a hug. I meant to say this soup feels like a hug, but the song also feels like a hug. You Know How We Do by Bahamadia, paired with this awesome soup, turkey meatball soup. It's amazing. Cooking Jook. Much love. Peace.